What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about some personalities you want to avoid when you're building financial success. This means business success and financial success.
In psychology, the dark triad represents three personality traits: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. If we were to ask the three who has the darkest personality, the narcissist would say, me. The psychopath would say, I don't care. And the Machiavellian would say, it's whoever I want it to be.
Now, the reason why I'm saying it's important to avoid these personalities is because they will make it hard to become successful in your business or even financially. So, your financial personality shapes everything about you in your decision making and behaviors that will happen to you in the future. What you decide today will have a big effect to you in the future. Now, identify.
Imagine being on a shopping spree, buying things you don't need, only to feel regret later. This scenario illustrates a common financial pitfall linked to your money personality. There are four main types: the spender, the saver, the avoider, and the security seeker.
Habit is I like to give out to people who are in need with anything I have extra. But here's the issue with it. I'm also stubborn. So, with someone who likes to help someone and that is stubborn, leads into a bad situation. Like I will keep giving to that person until it might even financially ruin me. Now comment down below if you know someone like that and like and subscribe to my video. So I understand this. So I try not to give out to anyone anymore unless I feel that is needed, and I will now set a limited amount I give that person. Now, I identify my own personality and my own things to help me grow my future. So, understand your own personality can help you avoid these pitfalls because almost every one of these personalities have issues. Now, one of the personalities is finance personality is the gambler. Now, the gambler likes to take high risks with their money. Now, it can.
People taking a position and they're gambling. They're not investing. Nobody's investing when they buy, some supercharged index on how the VIX does or something like that. They don't need it in their life. It's an unnecessary instrument. Now,
lead to significant wealth gain. It can, but often it leads to significant loss. If you have one of these personalities that you might strike it big one time, two times, but you notice that eventually they are back to where they are. Now, this is what you need to understand whenever you are trying to set your financial future or your business success if you're a gambler. You have to set long term goals to what you want to do. You might strike it good once in a while, but at the end of the day, you're gonna risk everything over and over. Eventually, gonna lead to failure. Now, the next person or financial trait I see that have issue is the spender. Now, they have a hard time controlling the amount of money they have and they like to spend it on living beyond their means. And this is why you need to avoid those people because sometimes they don't wake up to the reality until it's too late. Now, with the spenders, that personality is you just need to learn to budget and stick to your budget. But at the end of the day, they live beyond their means. And it's very bad for those people in business because you can't out earn stupidity. I know this because I know people who spend money and they spend every penny. They can make $200,000, $300,000 a year, but they spend every penny and usually live beyond their means. And I know people like this. They'll max out credit cards trying to be flashy. They living above their means. It doesn't matter how much money you are. If you have a bad spending habit, you are not going to be financially successful. Now, and the third one I find for the toxic financial habit or personality is the hoarder. Now, you hold on money so tightly that you will never take a risk on anything. Now, is it a bad be a hoarder? No, but that personality trait, you don't ever earn anything off your money. You're just too scared to. There's a lot of different issues. Every single time you want to invest, I have XYZ issue. I don't like the house. I don't like this. Instead of thinking of the positive. Now, is it bad to be a hoarder? No. But you need to understand the weakness of the hoarder is you have to take risk with your money every once in a while. And the hoarder is actually the best one to be if you have any of these personality traits, because you hold on to the money, but now if you can just let go on the things you think will be successful every once in a while, you will be highly successful. So if you're a hoarder, you have the best chance to be successful just because guess what? You are holding onto your wealth, holding onto your money, and if when the perfect opportunity jumps on it and you actually jump onto it, you be good. But most of the time they miss out on all opportunity. They just don't like it. Now, let's understand and identify the warning signs. So whenever you are in these type of situation and you're trying to build up wealth, you need to be able to identify some of the warning signs for yourself and for people around you, because having the people around you will affect you a little bit. So identify the warning signs. Look for the patterns in your spending habit and spending habits and other people around you, like your significant other, friends, or family, because they can weigh you down. Let's say you have the gambler or the spender. So they take you to casinos. Eventually, you're going to slip up and use some money. Yes, it's fun and exciting, but at the end of the day, you know, if you're with a spender and they go out for lunch and they spend $800-900 on that lunch, and your lunch will cost more too at the end of the day. It's if you're at one of those places that you spend that much money, sometimes the salad is like $20. Instead, you go somewhere else and the salad's only like $3, $4. So it does cost you money. You need to avoid and look for these patterns for these people so you don't get into these situations, spend more money than you need on these things. Now, you also need to identify and warning signs. Pay attention to your emotional reaction to money. A lot of people have a bad reaction. It doesn't matter what toxic financial personality. They have a bad attention and bad reaction to money. Like the Island Boys had it. They had this very bad reaction whenever they start talking about money and they say, oh, I have all this money. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know them personally. But I see their telltale signs.
The Island Boys have been arrested over 35 times, buried in over $150,000 of debt, which only makes sense since they're now literally homeless. But all of this was almost destined, as ever since that French kiss, they fell off. When they first went viral with this clip, you can see the problem. It wasn't because of their talent, but rather the total opposite. The video had as many dislikes as likes, with not a single positive comment in sight.
That, hey, they make a lot of bad financial decision and they get a lot of hate, but they get a lot of views. So guess what? They still get paid to do stuff that other people don't, but it looks like they have very bad spending habits to me. But what do I know? I'm not them and I don't see their books. So, but it does have a lot of warning signs to it. And be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. And this is what I'm talking about. I know my strength and weakness is money, and this helps me in the long run. Now, if you don't know yours, you can look up some of these traits and think about what you do and figure out what is some of the weaknesses you have and some of the strengths you have. And I always tell people, don't ignore your weaknesses. Figure out how to work around them. Maybe you're a spender and you have to figure out, okay, if I'm a spender, how can I get myself to do better? Well, what happens if I tell you if you're a spender and you spend all the time on the internet, you can make money by going to auction and reselling stuff? Because now, since you're a spender, now you are more willing to take more risk on more items, and I just make it to a habit where you are now budgeting and looking at how much each thing can make. Now your bad spending habit turned to a good one because now you're a flipper. So you have to learn how to do these type of things. Now, let's move on to the next part of it, is strategizing for avoiding these toxic financial personality. Maybe you don't have a toxic personality. Maybe other people around you have it. Now, this is where you have to understand where you sit. You need to set clear financial goals and track your progress for yourself. So, if you do this, you then sit down. Every one of these persons that have these bad habits, you say, "Hey, I can't do that because I have this goal I need to meet," and they'll eventually go away because then you're not indulging them in their bad habits, and you go and do your things to meet your goals. Because at the end of the day, you have to be a little bit selfish when it comes to your financials, because you have to worry about yourself because they're not going to worry about you later. So understand this. Now, the other thing people need to understand is creating a budget and sticking to it, and seeking professional help if you need help with your financial planning or financial personality, and they can help you figure out what bad financial habit you have. Now, let's move on to building a healthy financial future. Surround yourself with support groups, with good people, because building a healthy financial future means you want the right people around you, and seeking the resources education on a financial manager. Have someone around you to help you understand what's the right thing to do. Now, there is a lot of fake people out there, so you need to understand to find the one that works with you. And lastly, on that, remember to build financial success. It takes time and effort. It's not going to happen overnight. And you need to understand that nothing happens overnight, and you're not trying to gamble your way to success. You are trying to build a nice, long financial planning so you can be successful in the future. Now, that's all I got for you. Like, subscribe to my video, and comment down below.